Two best friends, Becky and Hunter, are crazy about climbing mountains and towers. A year earlier, while climbing a mountain, Becky's husband Dan fell and died in an accident. After that event, Becky completely fell apart. She stopped going outside and lost all interest in everything. One day, Hunter comes to see her. He says, "If you want to conquer your fear, climb again. This time, climb the tallest tower in the world." At first, Becky refuses, but in the end, she agrees because of her friend's request. They then reach that 2,000-foot-high abandoned TV tower, and Hunter starts recording video. He was filming everything. Seeing the tower's enormous height, both of them feel afraid at first. Becky seems quite terrified. Hunter calms her, saying, "Don't be afraid. We can do this." He ties himself with a safety rope and secures Becky too, and then they begin their ascent. But Becky feels every moment, the old rusty tower and the creaking of its stairs. Although she tries to stay hopeful, deep down she's scared, yet she keeps climbing slowly. After climbing a long way, Hunter says, "We're now in the middle of the tower. That means they've passed 1,000 feet, the same height as the Eiffel Tower. Up above, the wind is blowing fiercely. They hold on to a step." Hunter says, "Just a little more and we'll reach the top." But looking down makes Becky's chest tremble. The height makes her dizzy. Hunter playfully starts swinging the stair, which makes Becky even more frightened. Finally, they reach the very top of the tower. But while they were climbing, one lower steps nut had come loose. They didn't notice because they were celebrating. Hunter takes out his drone camera and begins recording everything. Becky is very happy to be sharing the moment with her friend. Hunter can't stop. He hangs off the tower to take pictures and tells Becky to do the same. Becky is scared at first, but bravely she hangs and takes the photo too. Then Hunter embraces his friend, and Becky scatters her husband's ashes into the wind. She feels a little peaceful. After finishing their mission, they decide to descend, but the rusty stair they were using suddenly breaks. Becky falls and dangles below, but Hunter somehow pulls her up. Becky's bag gets caught on the tower's antenna. It contains their drone camera and food. Now it's out of reach, and Becky becomes panic-stricken. They take out their phones, but there's no signal up there. Later, they find a flare gun and a microscope on the tower. Hunter says, "These won't help now. If we fire the flare, it'll get ruined." Seeing Becky's injured foot, he bandages it. Then, unable to do anything else, they sit and record a vlog there. A few hours later, Hunter looks through the microscope and sees a car parked far away, but from such a distance, it's impossible to call for help. Then Hunter checks his phone and sees many likes and comments on an old post of his, which means there had been signal down below earlier. So Hunter tries to write a help message and post it to his account. He ties his phone to a rope and lowers it down to try to get signal, but still no signal reaches the phone. So Hunter decides to hang down a bit himself and lower the phone. Even then the message won't send, so he thinks he'll drop the phone down. First, he puts the phone inside a sock, then into a shoe, and drops it so that if it falls, the phone won't break. Then she throws the phone down, hoping that when it hits the ground, it'll get a signal and the post will finally be sent. Hunter looks again through the microscope. He sees a man walking below with his dog. That man was talking on the phone, and Becky quickly throws her shoe down so that he might notice them, but he does nothing, just keeps talking on the phone and walks away. Becky is about to shoot the flare gun, but Hunter stops her. He says, "Wait until sunset. Someone will definitely come by then." Night falls. To pass the time, Becky starts watching her old videos on the phone. There, she notices something strange. Hunter was looking at her and her husband with a strange, uncomfortable expression. Meanwhile, Hunter says, "Now fire the flare gun." Then they turn on the phone's flashlight and wave it around. Two people see them from far away, but can't help. They were so high up that no one could really see or hear them. Instead, those two people steal their car and drive away. At night, they try to sleep. Hunter almost slips and falls, but Becky quickly saves her. Then she notices a tattoo on Hunter's leg. It says 143. Seeing that number, Becky remembers. Whenever she said, "I love you" to her husband, he used to reply 143. At that moment, Becky realizes there was something between her husband and Hunter. Hunter, realizing Becky has figured it out, can't stay silent. She confesses everything, how she and Dan had a relationship and why she hid it all. Becky is shocked and heartbroken, while Hunter breaks down crying and begs for forgiveness.
miss. Suddenly, Becky sees their bag, the one with the drone and the water bottle, still hanging from the antenna. Hunter says, "I'll go down and get it." She hooks a line around the tower, ties herself with a rope, and climbs down. She can't quite reach the bag, but bravely jumps toward the antenna and manages to grab it. Finally, she gets the bag, but now the rope is far away. She takes out the selfie stick from the bag, uses it to hook the rope, and tie the bag with it. Then she jumps, grabs the rope, and starts climbing up. Suddenly, the rope slips and Hunter falls. Becky screams in horror. Looking down, she sees Hunter is still alive, but her arm is bleeding badly and she can't climb up. Becky tries with all her strength and finally pulls her friend up. They sit together and drink water. Then they write a help message on a piece of paper and attach it to the drone. The drone flies away, but after going a short distance, its battery dies. They bring it back. Now, night has fully fallen.
At night, Becky sees a terrifying dream. Hunter has fallen and died, and birds are tearing her body apart. Startled, Becky wakes up and realizes it was just a dream. She notices a small light flickering on the tower, and suddenly an idea strikes her. She'll recharge the drone's battery and try again. The next morning, Becky climbs up and plugs in the drone to charge. While it's charging, she hangs from the edge, holding on carefully. When it's ready, she climbs back down, writes another message on paper, and ties it to the drone before sending it into the sky. But before the drone can reach any house, it crashes into a car and shatters. They spend the day waiting, hoping someone will eventually come to rescue them. Becky's health starts to worsen. She can barely move anymore. She says to Hunter, "Give me your shoe. I'll use the phone to send another note." But Hunter stops her, and then we discover the truth. Hunter isn't alive anymore. The day she went down to get the bag, she had fallen and died. All this time, Becky had been talking to her imagination. It was her way of not feeling alone. When Becky looks down, she sees birds pecking at Hunter's dead body. She breaks down crying and records a final message for her father, a farewell message. Morning comes. Another day passes. A bird approaches, drawn by the smell of her blood. When it tries to peck her, Becky catches it, twists its neck, and eats it raw out of sheer hunger. We realize she was starving, but that small bird gives her enough strength to keep going. Meanwhile, Becky's father, deeply worried, sets out to search for her missing daughter. At last, Becky gathers her remaining courage and climbs down to where Hunter's body lies. She takes the phone and places it inside Hunter's shoe, then turns the body over. She says softly, "I'm sorry, Hunter," and then pushes the corpse off the tower so that when it falls, the phone doesn't break and her father can find the message. A few hours later, we see Becky's father arrives near the tower. The police are retrieving Hunter's body, and he assumes his daughter is dead too. Just then, Becky's voice calls from behind, "Dad!" He turns around, sees her, and hugs her tightly in relief and tears. Seeing his daughter alive brings him peace. Becky's courage, endurance, and will to survive ultimately save her life. And this is how the film Fall comes to an end. Thank you.